Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is of the Mezco 112 Collective Magneto. If you're wondering why my setup has changed again, because I wanted to use the other setup permanently. Riley has been invading the space, and time schedule conflicts won't allow me to change it. So I'm going to keep swapping whenever I can. But yeah. Anyway, jumping into the review, I'm late to the game, late to the party. But Magneto is actually a wonderful figure that I've very much enjoyed. I've had time to sit down and actually play with it, and it's been fun. One of the things that I've noticed is that people kept asking about the wired cape. Yes, it has one. There is boot swivel. It's double jointed. I know some people worry about the camel toe. It is significantly smaller. So I've answered all of those questions, and if those were your questions, guess what? You don't have to watch the rest of the video. But yeah. Otherwise, if you do want to watch the rest of the video, here it is coming. Just bear with me. I still have a head cold, so I'm doing my best to try to get through this. So yeah. This Magneto figure is actually pretty dope. If you've been enjoying the Mezco 112 stuff and their rendition of modernizing classic stuff, as well as kind of bringing something different to the table, this is definitely for you and you and you and you and you. But yeah, let's jump into my favorite part, which is the articulation. While you're getting a nice clean look at them, show you that they've added some stylized stencil lines. The belt isn't die cast, but it's the very hardened piece here. We have our gauntlets, our boots. It's all modernized, but also simplified all at once. It's not one of those things where you can, I don't think that you can not mess this up, at least in my opinion. So it looks fantastic. But let's start with the head. The head can go up, and even with the helmet on, he can look up. He can look down somewhat. He can tilt left and right. They've left it kind of on a longer peg for those with that helmet. So even if you move around a little bit, you just get that nice little bit of range of motion. And they made the helmet soft. So for those of you worried about it chipping or breaking, that will not be an issue. Because as you can see, as I turn it here, it kind of bends real easy. So I'm very much a fan of that design. As far as our arms go, our arms can go all the way up. There are no shoulder armor to hinder it at all in this place. And we can see the stretchy material work its magic here. We can rotate all the way up. And as you can see, there is a bicep swivel. Arms are double jointed. And for those of you, this is actually getting bunched in there because it looks like it's kind of like a new arm placement, but not a new arm placement at the same time. But as you can see, it gets bunched up in there, but they left enough material so that way it stretches and you don't have to worry about these kind of things. The gauntlets rotate with no problem, and you get your standard all-around peg, articulation, all the nice and standard stuff. As far as our waist articulation goes, some people were worried that Magneto would have no ab crunch. He indeed does have a very nice forward ab crunch and a backwards reversible ab crunch, as well as being able to tilt side to side. So Magneto actually has a great range of articulation in the upper torso, better than most Mezco stuff. So that means flight poses for him should be very easy. His leg comes up this far. The leg is also double jointed. And mine is actually rotated out the wrong way. As I see, I slightly rotated it out this way. You can see it's double jointed. The feet have ankle pivot, which rotates in and around. All that good jazz. So yes, flight poses literally should not be an issue here. So you can get your Superman on. Your Superman flight pose should not be an issue. And if you don't want to do any Superman thing, but want to show him levitating or anything like that, all those should also not be an issue. Now, as far as the cape goes, which is something I very much want to talk about, the cape is wired. Kind of wired in two places, but not at the bottom. It's wired midway through and wired all the way at the edges. So, if you wish to get that nice ruffly feel, but without all the extra ruffles, guess what? You can definitely get some nice bit of magic here as it ruffles out. You can rotate it, fold it, make it look extravagant, but you can also catch it here, right here in the middle where these ruffles, rotate it up, and now you can have it look like it's floating upward. So like when you're gliding downward gently with Magneto or doing anything where he's lifting anything off the floor, you can definitely achieve those poses with the soft cape, with the cloth cape soft goods. You know what I mean? So all of that can be achieved very easily. This is the kind of thing that people kind of look for, and it's here now. Now, if you want to do an overall, just having it sit firmly in the back, it also does that too. And again, it goes out wide as well. So if you fold it out, as I'm doing here, it should hold. Should. So you got to get those ruffles right in the back. But voila, see? Holds out as well. So I think they did a great job on this cape and how they did the cape. It's one of those things where I'm very happy. I am a cloth cape person. That's my preference. I'm not really with the plastic capes anymore. I think they hinder the way in articulation. But if it did come with like a plastic cape that kind of was removable, I guess I couldn't have a problem with it. But I think this cloth cape is absolutely fantastic. But I am not a plastic cape guy. I'm just not. It's not my preference. But all in all, I think what we've gotten so far is fantastic. Now we're going to jump into the other accessories that Magneto comes with. Talk about that. Here we have the unmasked head, which I think looks like a Eric Lyncher. Looks like a Magneto. Definitely has the right feel for it. It looks great. Very plain Jane and to the point of an angry old Jewish dude. So, and I say that with the utmost respect because honestly, he's an angry Jewish dude and he has every right to be. He survived something that most people don't. So, we also get this very nice effect here, which is Magneto taking away someone's gun, obviously, and taking it apart, showing you the exact thing, of how intricate it is. He's taking it apart piece by piece because he also knows how to take a weapon apart. He's not only doing it with his magnetic powers, but with his mind as well. The hand is obviously attached to it, and it plugs right in, holds up very well too. Then you also get his standard hands, which is his clawing like attack hands or pose hands, depending on how you want to do it or when you want to raise something up. You can use these as action hands. And then you kind of have these as what I call his force push hands. These are very nice as well. They're open palmed. Very, very nice. You can also use these to, make it look like he's pushing you away, or the classic Magneto hands out thing. Then we have our whopping Jolly Joy magnetic hands. The magnetics show on the outwards, and as you can see, they can stick to each other. Voila. Does a very good job. These actually hold up pretty well holding up stuff. So I have a pen here, which I can hold up. It's very easy to do it. The 3 magnets are very powerful. And as you can see, you can hold this up. I'm moving it around. It only wiggles down, but for the most part, it holds it up. See? But it holds its weight, and that's a very good thing. So if you have any die-cast toys you want to do cool things with, this is definitely for you. For those of you that don't like the magnets protruding through and showing, I highly suggest you get some clear blue paint and just paint right over it. One very thin layer. And with that, you'll pretty much cover up the magnets that you don't like. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is with the Marvel Legends head, if you had that old Kitty Pryde with some sticky tack, if you wanted to get that really demented Magneto that was heading right to Onslaught, you can actually do that. The head pops right on, but if you want it to stay on and look good, you need some sticky tack. So that's just one thing I wanted to throw in there so you can take a look at it. Voila. So let's put his helmet back on, his helmet head. And one thing I want to do is now the size comparisons. You can see how Magneto looks up next to a bunch of other stuff, including himself in other versions. So I have the Revolve Tech and the Marvel Legends Magneto to do next to it. And it took me forever to find my Revolve Tech Magneto, which sucked because I really thought I had lost it. So here he is next to the Revolve Tech one. And here he is next to my modded Marvel Legends one. And as you can see, all kind of give you that rendition of him. This is a classic Magneto. The Gauntlets out. See, they just modernized their version. They gave you all the same design, but they've kind of sleeked it out. Which is, what Marvel artists do. They kind of finely tune little things. Same thing here, except his cape is way more extravagant and stylized. Same for the helmet. But through and through, you can see Magneto through the ages here, which is one of those cool things. So let's take these guys away. Now we're going to compare Magneto to a bunch of other stuff. X-Men, Wolverine, Juggernaut, and a bunch of other random bits and things. So here he is next to Cyclops, which, for a long time they were mortal enemies. And now if you're reading the Hickman stuff, everybody is one on Krakoa. So yeah. One question I had about Krakoa, and I know I'm getting a little bit off topic, is that I have not noticed Daken yet on Krakoa. And I know Daken is still alive. Same thing for Jimmy Howlett, who even though he is a poison now, he's still a mutant. So hopefully they'll go and find him. Those will be little adventures we talk about. But anyway, those for people who are reading comics. Here he is next to a Mythic Legions Barbarian. So you can see size-wise across the board. Here he is with some Marvel Legends, that being the classic Cyclops. Voila. There we go. We have Mystique here, who hopefully she will stand up because I've had her in a Ziploc forever. Then we have your standard Marvel Legends Wolverine, which, like I said, for those of you who are going to mix and match your lines, this is the stuff that you kind of want to know, right? So there he is with these guys, and I think he kind of fits in pretty well with Marvel Legends. Not too tall, not too small, and definitely fits the physique. Then we're going to have stuff like Quicksilver, for those of you that are going to do your Brotherhood, or early Brotherhood, for those of you like me who don't have Pyro or Toad. Here he is with a Sabretooth from Marvel Legends, and a Scarlet Witch, which is technically, she's an Avenger, she's been in the Brotherhood, she's been on a Unity Squad, she's been with a bunch of places. Hanging out with Doctor Strange as well. So here these guys go. Magneto shouldn't be smaller than them, but I still think it works out, considering you probably do him sitting, doing flight poses and things like that. I think it still works. Sabretooth scale works just fine in my opinion. Then we have stuff like the Mezco Wolverine. We have a 1000 toy synthetic human. And we have an SH Figuarts Kamen Rider. So as you can see, they're pretty much way smaller. Then we have stuff like the Juggernaut. Juggernaut. Much bigger, much bigger. And the newly acquired Mafex Wolverine, which we would compare his height in there too as well. He's also shorter. Not crazy short, but just short enough that I think he fits in pretty well with these guys, right? All in all, I think this is a nice and simple piece. It gets to the point. It tells us that, you know, sometimes modernizing stuff is really good. And I think it shows in this Magneto. If you've liked the magnetic gimmick and you liked it on a Revolve Tech, I think you'll definitely like it on Magneto. If you don't, then hey, maybe this is for you and you can stick with your Marvel Legends and you are fine. But if you're looking for something fresh and different, has a cloth cape, you know, take your chances, and I think that you'll enjoy. In the meantime, guys, I hope you found this informative. Hope you've enjoyed, and as always, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later.